Hi, Fashion Dolls. It is simply Saturday, April 2nd, and welcome to an all new episode of Style by Stevie Daytime. Our very special guest today is an actor and producer, and he's known as one of the leads on hit web series Bittersweet, the web series. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get Ronald E. Smith in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the interview you guys have been waiting for. Let's get right into it. Without further ado, I'm going to add our very special guest. I hope you guys all are doing wonderful. Welcome, Bittersweet, the web series. I just mentioned you. Hi, Angela. Welcome. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just coming in, let me add my very special. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Definitely a pleasure. Definitely a pleasure. I hope you don't mind. It's a nice day outside, so I decided to sit outside for this one.
No, you're fine. Welcome, welcome to the dollhouse. How are you?
Blessed to say the least. I can't complain at all. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. It is great to be alive, to be here into this new month. We're now in the springtime
Yes.
type of
Yes.
season, so ready.
Absolutely.
So before we get into this interview, how has 2022 been for you thus far? Like, I know it's been a challenge for all of us, content creators, film directors, producers, whomever, because of this pandemic that seems like it's never ending. So how have you been managing with that?
Um, the best way I could put 2022 is just by saying a blessing. It's had its highs, it's had its lows, but I'm grateful for both. So far in 2022, um, I can definitely say that I've learned some valuable lessons and grown a lot, just from like self-reflection through a lot of prayer, through a lot of meditation. I've definitely grown in ways that I didn't expect. A lot of things about myself got revealed as not only as a creator, not only as an artist, but as a man. So I'm grateful. It's been a blessing so far. That's all I can really say.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Everyone is sending you their blessings. They're chatting your name in the comments, all of this love.
definitely love, definitely love. Carry on. Love to see you, brother. Bittersweet series. That's family right there.
Welcome, welcome if you're just coming in. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with Ronald E. Smith. So tell us how the journey for Ronald E. Smith began as an actor. Like, did you always knew you wanted to be an actor? And what was it like for you growing up, to where you're at now?
Uh, I definitely never had any aspirations to be an actor. When I was in high school, um, I uh, I was in the courtyard battle rapping, and Abi O'Doon, he's the leader of the Last Poets. Anybody who's familiar with hip hop culture knows who the Last Poets are. They've been on Kanye West albums and everything. But he started a poetry program at my high school, and when he saw me battle rapping, he brought me into that. And he was my introduction into acting. He took me to see an off Broadway play, Top Dog Underdog, written by Suzanne Lori Parks, the legend herself. And at the time, it was starring an up and coming Jeffrey Wright. He just played Commissioner Gordon in the new Batman movie. People remember him playing Peoples and Shaft with Samuel L. Jackson. But it was starring him and Mos Def, and him taking me to see that play made me know that I could be an actor. At that point, he introduced me to George Faison, the legendary George Faison. I love him to death. He has the Faison Firehouse Theater in Harlem, my home, my birthplace. And yeah, he brought me under his wing. He taught me the ins and outs of acting. After that, went away to college, was acting there. After college, I was about to graduate with a degree. And it's like I had two options. Either go to the Air Force, use that to help pay for graduate school and things of that nature, or go back to school. I had just received a partial scholarship to go back to school for acting, so got my degree. Went back to college for acting. That's when I started attending the New York Conservatory for Dramatic Arts, and that's where they really broke me down. I want to say that was kind of like the army of acting. And yeah, that place definitely made me the actor I am today, where I've learned the ins and outs, where I've learned the value of it, where I've learned the value of living in a moment, living truthfully within an imaginary circumstance. So a lot of times when people talk about acting, the conservatory taught me that, yeah, I'm not pretending to be anything. I'm just living in the moment. What you'll get a lot of Ronald. It's just him living within this imaginary circumstance. So yeah, that's the long and short of it.
Okay, okay. And I love what you just said, living in the moment. For me, I love being in the present and
Yeah,
embracing the presence, you
absolutely.
know. And sometimes I go back to my past and I look at things that could have been done different. But to be in the present, to be in that moment, is just
Yeah,
everything, except all of everything, your flaws, your ins and outs,
absolutely.
what makes you feel good, what makes you don't feel
Yeah,
good, all of these things and so much more.
absolutely.
So with that being said, what did your mom? Because I asked a lot of actors this. What did your mama say when she seen her child on TV?
Uh, my mother doesn't say much. She's completely supportive, but she doesn't say much. My mother is the type of person, if she sees me on TV or if she sees me on stage, she's the one that'll say, Ron, next time, don't keep your hands in your pockets like that. Your pocket looks so bulky. And it's like, Ma, I just put on a phenomenal performance and that's what you notice? You know, she's that type of person. She's the one that'll see me on TV and like, I wish you would cut your hair. You're so handsome, you know? So yeah, that's who my mother is. But she's definitely the number one fan, definitely the number one support system. Even now, like as an independent filmmaker and creator, she's the one that, if I need funding for a project, she's one of the first investors, you know? So yeah, shout out to Mom Duke. She just, oh, here, there she is. Hey, Ma.
Hi, mom.
Yeah, she's on. I saw my best friend and brother Cordell on. Family affair.
Yes, all your supporters, they're here to see you, and so many reposts from this interview. So everybody
Yeah.
is happy to see that you're on
Yeah,
this
if there's one
platform.
thing,
So,
I can say, especially as an artist, your village is extremely important. And I'm talking
oh
about from
yes,
performances where it was just my mother and Cordell in the audience to now where I've performed on Broadway in front of thousands. You know, they've been there every step of the way. You know, Bittersweet series has been there every step of the way. So I'm a grown man now, but that village is still just as important. You know.
oh yeah, having a strong support circle. And I went on my soapbox on a tangent earlier, about, and I say this all the time about being humble, never forgetting where you come from humble
Yeah.
beginnings. Yes, I sit with, some of the greats on this platform, but I never lose sight of who I am. I just interviewed fashion designer Jay Moore yesterday. He was telling me how warm and welcoming. A lot of people say when they come on this platform how warm and welcoming I am, and it's not where you have to be on the fence, and guarded. You can just easily let your guard down. And this is the thing about it. A lot of people get in this industry and they get a big head,
Yeah.
but the key thing is to never lose sight of who you are and have that strong, solid foundation and support circle around you
Yeah.
100%. So I talk a lot about family and friends here on this platform
Yeah.
being the pillar and that village for me to keep going where I need to be. So, I've realized that I've had to cut some people off along the way that just are not willing to understand, the balance of having to do family and being this industry.
Yeah.
It's a lot to take.
Yeah. And I mean, just to piggyback off of what you were just saying, I mean, I've found that even coming into this industry, of course, you meet a lot of people that are fake, but you meet a lot of genuine and real people but
Oh yeah,
that can become family more, not just in the sense of like, oh, this is my brother on set, this is my sister on set. Like, no, these are people that genuinely want to work with you, that genuinely believe in you, and that genuinely want to help lift you up, your career up, and vice versa. You know?
absolutely. And there's the fashion designer that I interviewed yesterday, the elegant, the beautiful Jay Amore. We had that interview was one of my favorite interviews that I've done because he was so transparent
Awesome,
and
awesome.
about his upbringing and wanting to get into the fashion
Yeah,
industry. With all of us being black, um, we know how that is. Whether you're in the fashion biz, the entertainment business, you're always going to face some sort of obstacle and blockage that'll get you in the way. So, for my next question for you is obstacles. How do you handle and deal with obstacles? Because we know there's a lot that comes into this
yeah.
business.
Um, I would say it depends on the obstacle, but the first thing that I always do is go to my faith. That's hands down number one. The second thing is I go to my foundation. Um, I'm the first person to call my mother, go to my mother, whether there's tears in my eyes, whether there's a smile on my face. I go back to my foundation, go back to what grounds me, go back to what lifts me up. Actually, I want to say maybe about 4 or 5 months ago, I had an amazing opportunity to work with a really, really big director, really, really big actors. It was going to be like the stepping stone I was like, I've been waiting for in my career, and it kind of got snatched away. And even in that moment, I was visiting my parents. My mother walked into her kitchen. I was nothing but tears in my eyes, and I was telling her I wanted to quit. Mom, I'm done. I'm done. The, I didn't deserve this sort of pain. Like I didn't deserve this sort of pain. And in the midst of me quitting, her words were, "If you're gonna do it, you can't end it like this." You know, her whole thing was like, "You have to rise above. You have to make the difference." Never forget the things that that I've taught you. Faith plus focus equals success. These things are going to happen, but this is a blessing in disguise. You needed this. You needed this heartbreak in order to lift you up. And I want to say maybe a day or two later, talking to my grandmother, God rest her soul, she just passed away in January. Um, I appreciate that. Her words piggybacked and supported that as well. So, yeah, when it comes to obstacles, it's always about going back to the foundation, going back to what grounds you and what lifts you up. That's what I do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Shout outs to my brother K Tooks, the K Tooks Spot, also another amazing talk show and platform.
Awesome.
Please go and check out his
Awesome. Awesome.
the K
Yeah, I'll
Tooks.
definitely I'll follow him right after this.
And black owned. Almost everybody in the majority of my audience is black owned,
Nice.
family, friends, supporters of Ronald here and myself.
Nice. Nice. Awesome. Awesome.
So we're talking about legacy. You have a very extensive catalog of work here, sir. So let's go through. And what Bittersweet, the web series we're going to talk about, because you are one of the leads on that
Yeah.
show. You've got Jacqueline, you've got Ohio 10, Beer, Angry People, Cassidy, Time is Guilt, The Ave, Trying Again, Blue Diamonds, and Dear Dad. Now, out of all of these 10 projects that I just
Yeah.
named, which one holds a very special close place to your heart, and which character could you resonate with the most? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of actors, they have to pull somewhat of some of their life's experience into this. Like I've asked an actor this question just not too long ago in one of my interviews that I've done, and that would have been Stefan L. Jackson. I asked him, have you been willing to pull some of your family life or whatever it is into this character? The same goes for you.
Yeah. Um, I would say out of all of those projects, Dear Dad, and I see you, Cap, you just jumped on. Cap was the director and one of the producers of Dear Dad. So shout out to you, big bro. Miss you and love you. I would say between Dear Dad and Bittersweet series. I would say between those two, and that's just film work. Dear Dad, that meant a lot because um, I was playing a character to a single mother who had a turbulent relationship with her father. I've had a relationship with my father that wasn't the best at first, um, but he and I are like best friends now. And for me, like just being in that element, me talking to my father about certain things during that time definitely brought me closer. Cat being a father himself, that was that was really important to me. Bittersweet series, I'll say as well because I'm 6'1", black man with a bunch of tattoos. A lot of times I get cast as a lot of gangsters, thugs, and everything like that, and it's like I can play them really well. I do have that in my personal life as well, but I'm a college graduate. You know what I mean? Like I'm the first male in my family to have a high school diploma, the first person to have a college degree, much less two. I Bittersweet series gave me an opportunity to explore other aspects of me. They got to see the Ronald that can fall in love, the Ronald that experiences heartbreak, the Ronald that is a creative. You know what I mean? The Aaron, the character I play on Bittersweet series, is a filmmaker. So it gave me an opportunity to show different aspects of myself, different real life aspects of myself on screen.
Okay, okay. Mom says, Dear Dad, excellent acting that pulled on his acting expertise. He is believable and captures your soul. And she also said, also the lead in the beautiful ballad of Bobby Blue. Outstanding
Yeah,
ovation
that was
performance.
that's So that was a theater production that within my first production company, myself and my old partner Mark Lyons, he wrote and directed Ballad of Beautiful Bobby Blue, but it was a stage play that took place in the late 1980s. I played a college student who was a boxer, but I contracted the HIV virus through an infected blood transfusion, and you know, late 80s, mid to late 80s. This is when HIV and AIDS was just coming out, and we were just becoming knowledgeable of it. So within multiple different facets of real life, we incorporated it in the play. So from my character being called gay, or that ridiculous stigma, from the lack of knowledge on it, from people like even my best friend in the play not wanting to be close to me at certain points because no one really understood it. But yeah, that's definitely hands down my favorite performance I've ever done. From the weight that I lost in order to play that role, from the hair and makeup, shout out to Mark. He's not on, but shout out to Mark for just the vision behind that, and my mother especially. It tugged at her heart a lot because her older sister, my aunt, passed away from the virus in 1995. So I actually spoke with my mom and like interviewed my mom leading up to the role, just to gain her experience as losing someone that they love from the virus, and what it did to the family, how and I still have those recordings of my mom crying while telling me the story of walking in the hospital room and seeing my aunt, pretty much skin and bones, and to bring that to life was an honor, to the point where like I remember when after the standing ovation curtain call, I go back to the dressing room and someone runs back there and they're like, your mom, she needs you right now, she needs you right now. And I'm like, what in the world? I run out there and she's still just full on tears, just going through it. And it was like, Mom, let's go, hurry up, let's go get a shot. And we ran to the bar just to like get a shot and like just come down from the moment. But yeah, that is something that I wish that more people could see. And if without hesitation, given the opportunity, I would absolutely do that play again.
All right, so Bittersweet, the web
Yeah.
series. Let's talk about it. You are casted as one of the
Yes.
leads in this. Tell us, what was it like getting the call to be the character Aaron on this particular project?
So the creator of Bittersweet series, Brianna Abdullah, her and I had worked together on a short film a couple years prior. Um, I was on Actors Access just submitting for different roles. I didn't make the connection at first, but this is why when it comes to networking and building relationships, it's so important to make a great impression, because when she contacted me regarding playing the role and I show up and it's her, it was like, oh snap, this is amazing. And we had a great first meeting. I loved the character. Like I said, it gave me an opportunity to show another aspect of myself on screen that not many people get to see. So yeah, it was really refreshing getting the call, and then you know, uh, through the process of creating this series, one thing that I really appreciated that Brianna did, she didn't fully write the script, so there was a lot of freedom. If you watch the series, there's a lot of improv there. There's a lot of improv, and that it's a testament of great actors being present in the moment and listening to each other. A lot of people think, oh, you have to memorize so many lines. Like, no, I just have to listen to my partner, listen, and I can respond. You know, so yeah, Bittersweet series. Getting that phone call is definitely refreshing.
Mom says Bittersweet needs to be on HBO, time slotted right after Insecure. The writing, the comedy is so
I
entertaining.
told you, number
And I'm
one
gonna add
fan.
on to what
Mom
Mom.
going mom going to show up and show out. She gonna talk for her baby.
Yeah, and I'm gonna add on to what she just said. When I did my interview yesterday with Jay Amora, we were talking about the lack of Black content creators, not just in the fashion industry, but in the entertainment business as well too, with directors and producers. Up and coming indie producers and uh, uh, that are creating amazing content like Bittersweet web
Yeah,
series, and then there's Triangle and so many others. We do need to see these on national television
yeah,
platforms, but we know how the entertainment business is when it comes to Black filmmakers. We know Issa Rae, she had to go through a lot to
yeah,
get her show on
yeah,
HBO where it
yeah,
is,
yeah.
100%.
Absolutely.
And for each and every day for us, it's a stepping stone, it's an obstacle, it's some sort of hurdle.
Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I've had plenty of conversations with Brianna, and I, I, I tell her all the time. I deem her the next one up. From her precision, from the way that she approaches her craft, from the way that she approaches the writing, from the way that she approaches the entire process. Like her respect for the process is impeccable, but I know for a fact that, what my mom was just saying about us being on HBO, I know that that is something that definitely has the capability of happening. That's something that can definitely be manifested in birth.
Absolutely. Manifestation. If you put it out there in the universe, it will come to full
Yeah,
circle. And I believe it.
absolutely. Absolutely.
And you're also a director as well too. My next question for you is, how do you find that balance? Because you got a lot of family support and love in here, and I'm loving every minute of it. The energy in this room right now. Uh, how do you balance it out with being the actor, the director, and being a family man as well too?
The balance of acting and directing at the same time is trusting your team. You know, there are times where I've directed certain things, and I'm also leading the charge on the acting front, and that's when having people like a Brianna, people like my brother and partner Dante, having them take over while I can just be present in the moment. Because let's say there's a scene that requires me to go somewhere that Ronald necessarily doesn't want to go at the moment or wasn't prepared to go at the moment. You never, once you're present in the moment, you never know what it'll do to you. For instance, you can say something to me right now that may spark something, and I may start shedding tears because I'm present in this moment right now. So that doing that at the same time comes from your supporting your support system, your team. Saying, hey, listen, I need to be present right here in this moment. I need you to take over and just let me be. So that's where that comes from. But when it comes to being a family man, um, there's a lot of sacrifices that come with it. I was on the phone with one of my brothers the other day, and I was talking about 10 years from now. And I was just telling him that I'm looking forward to the testimony I have. I'm looking forward to being on an award show and being able to tell people the truth. There are times where I go months without seeing my parents, without seeing my baby brother. I go months without seeing any of my best friends. I've spent years, uh, not taking relationships seriously because I wanted to stay focused on this. So when it comes to being a family man, when it comes to anything in my personal life, there's a lot of sacrifices that go into it. And I'm just now, I turned 34 this month. I'm just now reaching the point where I realize that I would have probably made it a lot further. I would have probably made it a lot further already if I didn't have that mentality for so long.
It's definitely a balance. And I was speaking to my brother K Tooks about this just the other day on the phone. I was telling him, I said, I literally have to be every woman. I have to be caretaker.
Yeah,
My mom, she's still able to get around and things. I have to be hairstylist because I'm also a cosmetologist as well too.
nice.
She'll ask me, well, Stevie, come here. Do you think you can roll the back of my hair? And things like
Yeah,
that. So I have to be hairstylist, caretaker, housekeeper, protector, all of that. And it's a lot. So I mentally have to make sure that I'm in that right space. Or like you said in the beginning, in the present, in the moment.
yeah,
So I definitely have to balance it out. Being on live, online on the show, the internet could be scary.
yeah,
But I definitely have to take mental breaks for myself. So it's all about finding the perfect balance. And that's what it's about for me. And that's why I asked you that question,
yeah,
because I know it can be stressful and it can definitely take a toll on you if you do not find, a way to separate it all. If you do not, you're going to find yourself in a bind and it's going to be like,
yeah. Stevie,
you're going to snap.
Stevie,
It's going to be,
I'm sorry,
yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I see my brother Zay Diggs just jumped on. And Stevie, that is somebody who I would definitely, encourage you to reach out to and interview as well. I don't know if you've seen the trailer that's gone viral. They've made a dramatic version of Martin, the Pam and Tommy version of it. My brother Zay Diggs plays the character Cole. If you haven't seen the trailer yet, I'll send it to you. But they've done a remarkable job. Zay Diggs, brother, I want to just give you your flowers, man. You are such an inspiration to me. You've moved to the place that I wanted to move, that I've been wanting to move to for so long. You grabbed Atlanta by the neck. You sat here, you planted your feet, you stayed faithful, and it's all coming to fruition for you, brother. I love you, and man, know that I'm applauding, man. Know that I'm cheering for you. I'm one of your biggest supporters, brother. But yeah, Stevie, I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you, but I just wanted to give him his flowers really quickly, and I wanted to encourage you to reach out to him. That would be an amazing interview for you to have as well.
Zay, send me a DM and we definitely can set up something. Definitely.
Yeah,
Because I'm all about supporting just black everything, black business owners. And thank you, Mom, for the hair compliment. I try. One thing about me is even with acting, actors don't stay the same. You don't see them in one specific role. And in a way, I am kind of acting on the show by giving you these different hairstyles, these different makeup looks. You'd be like, okay, she looks different this day. And I give credits all to myself as well as the beauty contributor and makeup artist here on the show for making sure that I'm on point each and every day with hair and makeup. So shout outs to Melanie. I had to throw that plug out there too. Oh goodness, Cap says watching the growth of this journey has been nothing short of amazing. The humility that you carry, even in the spotlight, drives me. Thank you for being you. Blessings,
love you,
bro.
bro. Love you, big bro. Love you.
Love your energy.
Carry on. I love you as well, brother. And this just a testament to just the way that God has worked in my life. Over the past few months, like I said, 2022 so far has been a blessing just from what I've been able to learn and everything like that. But there was a time in either December or January where I was in a really, really dark place. And this is just complete transparency. My mother knows about this as well, where um, I was beating myself up a lot, and I was going through a lot of suicidal ideations at the time. And God knew that I needed someone. Like literally in the middle of the night, let's say 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I needed someone. I just needed someone. Carry on. I believe he's from Scotland, but he just slid into my DMs randomly and just prayed. He just prayed for me. And since then, we've been able to pray for each other. We've been able to connect. We've been able to, encourage one another. And I thank God for that night, because if there's one thing that became clear, was that you're never alone. Even when you think that you may be, you're never alone. Like I said, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm in New York City. He's, a whole flight away in another country. We've never met, but in that moment, yeah, he was there, and we've been able to have a great bond since. So carry on. Love you, brother.
And I'm gonna add on to that when you mentioned the dark spot that you was in. Mothers know everything, even for me, because I suffer with anxiety.
Yeah,
My mom, she said, "Okay, what's wrong? What's going
yeah.
on? What's got you bothered?" Mothers know everything. You can't hide it. And I'm not saying that because Mother's Day is in May and she's gonna get a beautiful gift,
Nah,
but
my mother knows
mothers
she can only
know
pick one. Her birthday's 2 days before Mother's Day all the time. She got to pick one. She can't get two.
the power of healing and letting go. Got go is so important. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because if you don't let go, you're going to find yourself digging up and rehashing that past. And me, that's something that I've been battling with. And I've been trying to be open and transparent as transparent as I can with my viewers, to let them know, like, okay, I'm just not feeling it today. There have been days where I'm just like, okay, I'm trying to be happy, but what is holding me back or hindering me
Yeah,
from that happiness?
yeah.
And it's rehashing up my past, going back to my past, touching things that don't need to be tempered. And, we can't change it. We can't change it. What's been done, it's been done.
So, and not to become the interviewer, not to steal your job, but I would love to know what
Mm-hmm.
you do in order to combat that going back to the past, going back to things that you don't need to touch on. How do you combat that? What is your method of remaining in a healthy space and putting and being able to show up every day, be present, and provide a platform to where other people such as myself can come and feel the safetiness that you've created, the safetiness to be transparent, the safetiness to share. What is it that you do in order to be able to show up every day and be present for others?
Well, like how we're doing now, communication.
Mm.
My mom said, "Don't you ever be afraid to come and talk to me. That's what mothers are for. We're here." And she even told my brother that. My brother went into the military. We chose opposite paths. He chose to go into the military. I chose to go into the field of cosmetology, beauty.
Yeah.
Because right after high school, I went and, I got my license and things like that. Because I just, I love doing hair and makeup. It's therapeutic for me.
Yeah.
But it's not about the glamour aspect. There's other outlets that you can go to so that you will be okay with people coming and talking on your platform and telling you their testimony. You have to be in that safe space. You have to find what brings you peace. And what brings me peace is God and my family.
Amen.
That's what keeps me comforted. And I reach out and I text my colleagues and friends. I call him my brother, K-Toops. I don't know if he's still here or not. I text him. My friend Felicia has been a huge support system. My cousins. I just spoke with my cousin yesterday. It's been a minute since I've spoken with her. And also my mom.
Yeah.
I've been definitely going and talking to her because mothers, like I said, woman's intuition, women, we can pick up everything. So mothers know. Mothers know instantly if something is wrong. And my mom, she said, "Okay, are you okay? Is everything all right? Nothing's bothering you. You haven't been feeling down, have you?" And even though I'm a full-grown adult, 28 years old, there's nothing wrong with sitting down and having a conversation with your parents
Absolutely.
while they're here and they're alive.
Absolutely.
So that has been helping me a lot as well too, and that's what keeps me grounded and motivated. Not only that, but learning to unplug from the internet, because like I said, the internet is a very scary place, and with all of this hacking and doxing and stuff going on, it's crazy. It set me up an edge. I'm like, oh my God, what do I need to do? I need to protect my information. I need to protect my family. People are so crazy, and just like a mad woman. So I try to unplug, and that helps me as well too. Looking through books, reading, writing, that helps as well too. But don't allow yourself to get to that space. Talk to it.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that answer. That's absolutely true. And I guess just to piggyback off of what you were saying regarding like a mother's intuition and a mother just knowing. I know for myself, and with speaking with my therapist, we unpacked a lot of this, but like for instance, my father leaving when I was 5. One of the last words that a father says to a son when he leaves is, "You're the man of the house. Protect your mother," right? That's your job now. Protect your mother. And even going into adulthood, back in my younger days when I was out, running the streets, and doing certain things, I would never tell my mother about it. I didn't want to burden her. As I got older and started to experience different things, such as depression, such as anxiety, such as suicidal ideations, I wouldn't tell my mother about it because I needed to protect her. I didn't want to burden her. And it wasn't until I want to say maybe 2017, 18, where it was like I finally started to bring it to her attention. I finally started to be transparent and open up. And the response was incredible, where like normally she would go a week without hearing from me. She'd call me, not hear from me. Now the response is, I haven't heard from him. He's not picking up. I'm just showing up at his door. And literally will just show up at my apartment unannounced. And, oh, well, I'm here for the whole day.
That's right. They don't care. They don't care what it is. They do not care.
Yeah. But yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And I'm going to piggyback off of what you just said. I'm about to get a little controversial here. Don't kill me, y'all.
Get as controversial as you need to. No disclaimers. Don't ask permission.
Yes.
Don't ask permission. Just ask forgiveness. Let's go.
When we talk about mental health, because we're talking about mental health right now, the situation with Will Smith and Chris Rock that's going on, it's a mix of so many things, and I would have to say toxic masculinity is in the Black community with Black men.
Yeah.
And the point where I'm getting at right now is normalizing mental health. There's so many people who battle with depression, anxiety, and those thoughts, those very dark thoughts or idle tendencies, as you've mentioned.
Yeah.
Jennifer Lewis said this. Excuse me, mommy, I'm about to swear a little bit. Jennifer Lewis said this. A lot of people act like their shit doesn't stink.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, we have to start normalizing mental health in the Black community. We for years we've been programmed, and I think that's that slave mentality of, you know, what goes on in this house stays in this house. If it causes me trauma, if it causes me pain, if it causes me to be repressed, even though, you know, women, we're emotional. We, you know, Taraji P. Henson, I thank God for the likes of Taraji P. Henson, Jennifer Lewis, who have been open and candid and transparent about depression. Now, if you want to go to the black male side, Lil Wayne, Big Sean, all of these men have opened up about depression.
Yeah,
And the thing about it is, in the Black community, we need, and I'm proud of you, Ronald, for opening up and being the pillow for other Black
I
men
appreciate
to
that.
come
Thank
out
you.
here and talk about mental
Yeah,
health. Because, you know, men sometimes, and my father is a military man, even for him, and some men will be in denial. They'll be like, no, there's nothing wrong with me. Ain't nothing wrong with
yeah,
me. I just drink some water. I'm going to be tough. I'm a man up to try to impress us as women. And listen, I will say this. I think a man crying is the sexiest thing. Showing your emotion to me is the sexiest thing, and that's a turn on,
yeah,
because it lets me know that you're not only a man, it lets me know that you're human as well too.
yeah,
We all have emotions, and we all have things that make us upset. We have things that make us emotional.
yeah,
And the thing about it is, if you keep it bottled up inside, then you take it out on the wrong person. You take it out on
yeah,
somebody. They don't deserve that. So talk about it. Talk about your mental health. Talk about it. And you've mentioned therapy. There's nothing wrong with going to sit on the couch and talk to Dr. Phil. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
yeah,
We need to start normalizing mental health, or else you can become another statistic. And I'm going to name some of the most iconic statistics in the music world. You become Prince. You become Phyllis Hyman. You become Jimi Hendrix. You become Michael Jackson. You become Whitney Houston. You become anybody who has lost their life to abuse of drugs and so many things.
yeah,
You have to normalize it. Talk about it before it's too late. We just seen what happened with Miss USA not too long ago on
yeah.
Chelsea.
And we also seen what
The
just happened
woman
with
lost
Regina
her.
King's son.
Yes, and Kate Spade, the fashion designer Kate
Yeah,
Spade, is another one. So, and I'm going to talk about Kanye a little bit as well too.
okay.
We see all of these things that he's doing, but at some point in time, you have to ask yourself about this. When is it going to be too late? Is it ever when it, you know, we should have done something. That's what we ask. We say we should have done something.
Yeah. I
We should have done something, and then before it's too late,
see.
there's nothing you can
I
do.
wholeheartedly agree with everything that you just said. And I guess just to dive into another aspect of it, because you know you brought up a lot of different men. When it comes to a man and mental health, I feel like, and I thank God for the time that we're living in, where it is starting to be talked about more, where there are more, you know, more things happening, more men opening up. Because as a man, you don't necessarily always feel the freedom to do it. You don't always feel the safety, more importantly, to do it. You know, there are times where I've communicated things or I've cried in front of a woman and they've looked at it as a negative. Oh, that's not manly. You're not, you know what I mean? Oh, I'm the, you know, yeah, I'm very adamant about my faith. I've been called the church boy, you know. Um, there's certain things that when it comes to being a man and being able having that freedom and safety space to open up, it's not necessarily there all the time. Like I know for myself, I credit Charlemagne the God. I know people have their sentiments about him, but I credit Charlemagne the God a lot for me feeling free and safe enough to say things. You know, like for instance, in his book, he opened up about, you know, abuse as a child, sexual abuse as a child.
Yeah,
That's when it was like, okay, what I went through as a child, my experience with it, it doesn't belong to me. It's a testimony to help save others. And throughout my work, you know, like I have a degree in psychology. I've worked within nonprofit organizations for well over 10 years, and I've been able to use that testimony to help and heal others, heal other young men that have gone through it. You know, for the longest time, I would never speak about it. I would never bring it up. I would never even touch on it because I was less of a man because of it. Happened to me as a child, but I still felt less of a man because of it. And now here I am as a grown man, and it's like, despite any of it, and I still have a lot of growing to do. Don't get me wrong, because where I can talk about it now, at the same time, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I mean, if anybody want to say something, can you beat me in a fight though? I need that. That's the toxic masculine part that needs to, like, I can feel free enough to speak about it without feeling the pressure of, all right, well, cool. I still need to be on the defensive and ready to fight because of it. You know what I mean? But yeah, when it comes to mental health in men, once a lot more men start becoming vulnerable and open about these things, I think we'll be surprised at the healing that we start to see. And honestly, I don't think that it'll happen in my lifetime. I don't think it'll happen in your lifetime. I think our children, or maybe our children's children, will reap the benefits of the transparency and openness that we have talking about mental health, that men have talking about mental health, and things such as sexual abuse. I our children's children will reap the benefits, but it starts now.
And someone said, never be ashamed of being a man of God.
Oh,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
brother Angel, I love you, brother. That's another great brother of faith, man. He and I, we met on set years ago, and like I said, a testament of, you know networking and, doing it the right way, building relationships the right way. Man, he is someone who is extremely easy to talk to, someone who I can share a funny video with or a spiritual video with. And man, he's a phenomenal brother. He's a phenomenal creator. He has some things that are brewing, and brother, I applaud you. You already know I'm cheering for you. I can't wait to see everything that you've been working for come to fruition, brother. Love, man. Love.
And to add on to the conversation, a lot of people think that drinking and smoking the pain away will just go away. People numb themselves with this stuff.
Yeah.
Talk about it, normalize
Yeah.
it. And the thing is, you don't have to be so hyper masculine all the time to prove, I'm strong, I can go through this. When we know that trauma is, everybody suffers from it.
Yeah.
It's going to eat away at you. Like, literally, it's going to eat away at you, man,
Well, see,
or
the thing
woman,
is,
whatever it
in
is.
order for us to
Yeah.
normalize talking about it, we have to first recognize it as a problem. And complete transparency, I've never said this on any platform. You about to get the real deal, Stevie. My mother brought it to my attention that I had a problem with drinking, and someone who I was dating at the time brought it up, and I started to realize that was a problem. It was something that I was using as a band-aid in order to get away from certain things. And to the point where last year, the end of last year, I started going to AA, and I made it 1 month before I reverted back, and I beat myself up for it. But it was one of those things of my sponsor telling me, "You'd be surprised how often this happens. I'd be surprised if you didn't go back to it. Just as long as you come back on this side, I'll always be here." And this is me, where someone look, oh, I'm this man of God, I'm this inspiration, no, I'm flawed. I'm so flawed, but I feel like that's the reason why God loves me even more, because I am so flawed. you know I have been an addict of alcohol. I have been an addict of a number of different things, not drugs, but other things, such as, like, battling with lust, battling with so many different things, pride especially. I've battled with a lot, and us being more open and transparent about this is going to heal so many others.
Or else, like you say, sometimes the children, when it's passed on down to them, they're going to reap those
Oh yeah.
benefits. So, we got to break that cycle. That cycle must be broken. And it could take years for that to happen. But slowly but surely, we're slowly coming out of our
Yeah.
shells. And we're seeing Black men be transparent about mental health
Yeah.
and their issues. For women, it's easy. We'll come out and we'll say firsthand whatever it is that's bothering
Yeah.
us, because, we're more emotional and open about it. So yeah. All right, we talked a little bit about mental health, fashion dolls, and this was a well-needed conversation. And I hope you guys are taking notes from this. This really helps people along the way. All right. The next part of the conversation is, how do you find peace within yourself? How do you keep peace with everything that's going on? Because I know it's, for you being an actor and a director, it's difficult being away from family. So that separation anxiety is another thing that kind of talks a little bit about mental health as well too, being separated away from family. So how do you find peace within yourself while, being away from family?
Uh, the complete honest answer to that is I'm still looking for peace. Um,
Mm,
I can't give you the last time I've felt peace. And that's the God's honest truth. When it comes to the separation of family, anyone who knows me knows how much of a mama's boy I am. I have a baby brother. He's 7. I feel extreme separation anxiety from him a lot of times as well, and I don't feel at peace 99.9% of the time. I feel like I feel like a machine that's just doing its job. That's just keeping the cycle going. That's just continuously moving. But when it comes to peace, I do feel peace when my brother is like, "Hey, can we play this game together?" You know, you know, when I'm teaching him how to play chess, because how many black men do you know that are really good at chess? He's 7. I want him to be dope at it already. So, he's 7 years old and can figure out a Rubik's Cube already, you know? Those are the times where I feel peace, where he's playing, he's having a good time, he's smiling. My mother is sitting on the deck of her backyard, and she's, you know, her son is home, so she's smiling, she's happy. Those are the times when I feel peace. The times when I go visit my dad and he's hanging out, having a good time, he's smiling. Those are the times when I feel peace. But I can't recall the last time I've felt peace. Um, and especially since my grandmother passing, that and forgive me because I feel myself getting a little choked up, but
it's okay. Take your time. It's okay.
you always think you have more time. And I think about all the time that I've spent working on this craft and pushing forward. And she never missed a play. She never missed a movie premiere. She was front row at everything. I mean, the number of plays there, something would happen and she'd be yelling from the front rows. And I'd be trying my best not to break character. But I think about all the times where all she wanted was for me to sit, show up and just watch a Giants game with her or watch a Knicks game with her. And all the times that I missed out because I was sitting here pursuing this career, pursuing this journey. And so, yeah, I don't know the last time I felt peace.
Lord, you about to make me tear up. Lord Jesus. Oh, I'm trying, Melanie. I'm trying. If I mess up my eyes, it's okay. I'm okay, y'all. But it's powerful. It's powerful knowing that people that have influenced you in your life still have that impact, and still to this day. I lost my sister in August of 2018, and
I'm sorry.
June will be here before you know it. So when June 29th rolls around, it's difficult for me and my family. It's like how, even when the holidays come, it's like, how do we celebrate with her not being here? But we can't, but they wouldn't want us to be sad and weeping around all the time. And my sister was the complete opposite. Me and her have the same type of personality where it's bubbly, we're fun. She was a fun going person.
Yeah.
And she was adventurous. She loved to have a good time. And she would always call me over to do her hair and just spend time with her. And she would cook for me, my mom, my grandmom, and my brother. And she'd send my father a plate too. He'd come over there too if she needed something fixed. But it's those things that matter the most. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Shout outs to my girl Steph. Hey girl, text me after the show. See, and there's another, I speak about strong support system. There's my girlfriend, Stephanie.
Shout out to you, Stephanie.
We have known each other for a very, very long time. And I just spoke with her Thursday. So it's great to have people within that support circle that support you and love on you 100%. Your grandmother has had a beautiful smile. There's my girl right there. Yes. And I've called her. She's been an ear and a shoulder for me to lean on. She's close to me. We're both in the Carolinas.
Nice.
So it's good to know that she's closer. I have family in the Carolinas as well, 2 down here with me. And it's good to know that they're nothing but a drive away. So when we talk about mental health and having that support system, it's those things that matter to us the most. And I didn't mean to make you cry. It happened yesterday. It's okay to show that emotion. It's okay to be vulnerable and, like you said, in the present. Even for me, I try to be this. How can I say it? I try to be this strong woman. I try to be the one that holds everything together like the glue. And even in friendships, I've always, in the group of us, I try to be the Iyala, the mother figure in the group. Try to bring everybody together. And Stephanie will tell you. That's something that I love to do.
That's why women are superheroes. The power of a woman is so underrated and underappreciated. I mean, even think like I get emotional. Yesterday, coming home from work, I saw a woman on the train with gray hair, short gray hair like my grandmother's, and I was like, I immediately my mood changed. I got emotional. But I remember when my grandmother passed, and I remember speaking to my mother, and she just was so composed. And it was like, how aren't you going through it? This is your mom. But that just goes to show the power of a woman, because even in the moment where she needed to have her own breakdown or whatever, she was there for me, my stepdad, my baby brother, who's, like I said, is only 7, who runs up to her as soon as she gets home from the hospital saying, did I just lose my grandma? Like, like for her to still throw on that cape, like the power of a woman is so underrated, so underappreciated. I thank God for the strong women that I do have in my life. And I don't necessarily, actually, let me rephrase that. Not for the strong women in my life, for the women in my life, because he's provided me with nothing but powerful, influential, grounded, just warriors, Yeah.
Yeah, and there are days when I just want to, take the cape off. And Queen Latifah said this. She said, there are days when I don't feel like, having to save the world and, having to be the strong one all the time. It's okay to take it off and just let free and just let it go.
Yeah.
Let the tears flow. Let whatever it is that's bottled up and bothering you inside out. Just let it out. Man or woman. That's what Queen Latifah said in one of her interviews. So we definitely have to get used to that. And with this thing going on, we've lost family, relatives, we've lost brothers, sisters, grandmothers, mothers, fathers. It's a lot. And we keep that all bottled up inside and we try to mask that pain. Like everything is okay. We put on that spot. Even for me, there are days when I'm just like, okay, I'm not feeling it. Something's wrong. My girlfriend Stephanie will tell you. Kate Hooks will tell you. The ones that I've mentioned so much more. They're just like, we know. Felicia is another one of my friends. She'll even tell me like, girl, what's wrong? Are you cool? You straight? What's going on? Those are the ones that you need in your life that will tell you, you got this. You got this.
Yeah.
And it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to let all of that emotion out. It's okay to shed
always
tears.
think you got more
You
time.
don't have to be.
That's the thing. We don't respect time enough. You always think you have more time. And I wish I had a better understanding of time. I'm learning it now, but I wish I had a better understanding of time. What I'm chasing, this level of career I'm chasing, it doesn't take precedence over everything else. For so long I felt and thought that it did, and I missed out on a lot.
Time is so precious. Time is definitely precious, and you're getting so much love in these comments. Salute to women. Y'all are strong overall than men, and I respect all the real single mothers raising boys with no father. And it's hard, but that's the thing. And my mom even said that sometimes the mother has to be the mom and the dad, and it's a balance. But you have to do that. These are the women that nurture us. and mold
On
us
my
into the people
chest,
that we are today.
the quote my mother's been saying to me since a kid, you know, growing up in a predominantly gang neighborhood and everything, rise above and make the difference as a dove, with her name on a ribbon, and then right under that says best mom slash dad. Think that was like the
That's
one
right.
tattoo I got that my mother was didn't turn her face up at. Oh man.
All right, so we're going to end on a lighter note, and then we're going to take some questions from the viewers as well. We're going to do 2 games, Fats and Dolls. So the first one is going to be called the Rapid Five, and Ronald has to tell me 5 things that he can't live without. And then the next one, we're going to call it Your Thoughts, where I drop the name of an actor, and you give me the first word that comes to your mind about this actor. So we're going to start off with the Rapid Five.
Okay.
What are 5 things that you can't live without?
Shea butter, chapstick, uh, charcoal toothpaste, deodorant, and some sort of hair lotion.
All right, that's 5. Everyday
Yeah.
essentials, well groomed. And that's another thing. Black men need to start normalizing grooming and taking care of yourself as well too. It doesn't make you want to be, it just means that you like to keep yourself up. We're in a day and age where a lot of people doing Zoom calls, Zoom meetings, all of these things are virtual, and things are somewhat opening back up. So grooming, appearance is everything. And I've mentioned this yesterday in my interview with Jay. I said, you know what? It's all about comfort. While you're in the comfort of your home, don't hesitate to put on something nice or something like that. There's nothing wrong.
Yeah, no, my mother and I have been going on pedicure dates since I was a preteen. So yeah, we out here with it.
Nothing wrong with that. All right, Fashion Dolls, it is time for his thoughts with Ronald E. Smith. So I'm going to drop a name of some actors and actresses, and you let me know the first word that comes to your mind
Okay.
about these actors. The first actor that I'm going to start off with is Idris Elba.
Spirit animal.
Okay. The actress up next is Kerry Washington.
Underrated.
Okay. Number 3, the actor that I'm going to go with is Don Cheadle.
Underappreciated.
Okay. Number 4, we're going to go with Tracy Ellis Ross.
Legendary.
Okay. All right. And number 5, Ronald E. Smith.
God's gift.
There you have it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, those are his thoughts. So we are now going to take some questions from the audience. Y'all, this was a powerful interview. We shed some tears in here. There's a lot of emotion, and we spoke a lot about mental health as well. So this one is definitely one for the books. And I hope you guys, as for us as a collective, as Black people, are taking something from this interview. And here's another FYI about me. I don't go back and watch my interviews. I don't. And I tell you why, because I'm my own worst critic. And that's something that in the beginning of the interview, you said your mom told you that you have to stop beating yourself up. That's something
That's
that
what
I
she
kind of
said.
do. I'm my own worst critic. And I will critique myself like, girl, you could have did this a little bit better. You could have questioned. And people will still say, you did wow. Why are you beating yourself up? Why are you so hard on yourself? Learn to give yourself a pat on the back when you've done amazing.
Yeah.
Stop beating yourself up. Even when it's like taking a test. When I was in school, my teacher would always tell me, shout outs to her. She would say, go with your first instinct. That first answer that you know was right, even though you studied throughout this test, go with that first answer.
Yeah.
Don't go back and change it and then change it again and change it again and change it again. Erasing and change it again. Stick with what your gut instinct, your gut intuition is telling you. Your gut and your instinct won't lead you wrong. That's what she told
Amen
me.
to that. Yeah.
So that is
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't go back and watch any of my films or anything like that. There are times that I have gone back and watched a few of them, but I always do it by myself or with someone that I know I feel extremely comfortable with. Because, like I said, like you said, you're your own worst critic, and yeah, I'm definitely like that for myself.
And someone else does that too. Mary J. Blige, the singer, she says when she did the film Mudbound, which was like a film of a free family.
Yeah,
And it starred what's his name, Jason Mitchell from Straight Outta Compton. She played his mom. She said, "I don't watch myself, even when I'm recording music videos. I don't watch myself.
yeah,
Now, if I'm doing a film, I have to go back and watch the playback because the director might want to change something, the producer might want to change, and you understand this as a director." So Mary says she never goes back and she never watches any of her music videos or
mm.
anything. She just
I
doesn't.
didn't know that
And I'm
about
kind
her.
of the same way. And people are like, yeah, like why?
Yeah,
Like why don't you? You kind of have to ask that question, but it's just from an artist standpoint.
yeah,
We give you guys the craft and the creativity for you guys to love and
yeah.
enjoy. And we got a question. What plans you have in the future? What is your vision? Do you believe in God? Do you believe that God gave you in this film industry?
I don't have any plans for the future anymore. I genuinely do believe in the saying that when we plan, God laughs. I'm just doing what I feel He calls me to do, moment by moment, day by day. If He gives me something for the foreseeable future, I'll do it. But as of right now, I'm just going day by day. When it comes specifically to the film industry, one of the things that He made clear is that this is nothing but a tool in order to do more of His work. This isn't who I'm meant to be. I'm not meant to be an actor. I'm not meant to be an entertainer. As fast as He can give it to me, He can take it away, and He proved that to me a few months back. But and when it comes to the film industry, when it comes to the industry, period, whether it's on stage or on camera, it's to use to bring, to relay His message of love, to relay His message of loving your neighbor as yourself. Which He said was the most important commandment. That is my duty here. As much as people can watch me on screen, watch me on stage, they don't see the work that happens behind the scenes. They don't see the young men and young women I mentor. The daily devotionals that I send out. They don't see that behind the scenes work, and that's what I'm here for. I may not ever get to where I want to be in this industry. I may not ever get to an Oscar stage. I may not ever have that opportunity, and I'm fine with that. This is what I love to do. If I didn't have to worry about bills, I'd do it for free. But yeah, that's my answer to that question.
Oh, we've got two more. I'm gonna start with Mom's question. Mom says, "Isn't one of the five things you can't do without Mom's mac and cheese?"
Well, they said things. That's not a thing. That is a delectable. Yeah, we can't minimize that to a thing. I named things.
All right. Let's see. All right. The next question is, what are you guys' favorite verses in the Bible? And what does the verse give you? Strength, comfort, peace? Mine's would have to be Deuteronomy 24, which I posted earlier. And it talks about, battling evil, these demons and things like that. There's people that is going to try to come up, against you when you're doing well, when you're doing successful in life. They don't want to see you win. They will try to pull you back into that dark space. And the key trick is to not let them. So what it does is it brings me strength. It brings me strength.
I can't minimize it to one verse that I have as a favorite. It depends on the day. It depends on the day, what I'm living through that day. Um, I started a company. If I did have to pick a favorite, it'd probably be Psalms 45, verse 1. I started a company, and at the time, it's called P45 Creations. At the time, Donald Trump was the president. He's the 45th president. There was a bit of confusion with the naming, and it was like, yeah, absolutely not. That has nothing to do with Trump. But if I did have to minimize it to a favorite, it would be that. And it was Psalm 45, verse 1 goes into your destiny. It talks about
Mm.
you walking into your destiny. And at the time when I came up with the name, when God put that on my heart, I didn't even fully understand what it meant. I feel like I'm still learning what that verse truly means. Now, like I said, me walking into my destiny, you know. Like I said, acting isn't my destiny. Entertainment isn't my destiny. It's a tool to use in order to get to my destiny.
All right. Mom says you're excused.
Thank you.
That's deep. If I didn't have bills, I'll do it for free. All right, Angel. Yep. I see you guys are just coming in. I hope you guys are enjoying this conversation. All right. Since you gained so much inspiration from your foundational upbringing, is it difficult for you to go back to Harlem and see the ramifications of gentrification?
It's extremely heartbreaking. We're talking about, and that's my brother Cliff. I mentioned him earlier when I was saying I was talking to him just a couple of days ago on FaceTime, and we were just talking about the sacrifices that it takes to do something like this career. But I love you, bro. Um, but yeah, it's heartbreaking. We grew up in a generation where we were able to walk down a block and walk past four black-owned stores, four black-owned restaurants. You know, while we were in high school, at least twice a week, my mother would give me a little bit more money, and I would go to this Jamaican spot around the corner from the high school in order to get lunch while we were still able to go out and get lunch. But that place doesn't exist anymore. You know, we've watched our home be taken away. We've watched the neighborhoods that we grew up in, the streets that we've walked on. We've watched them be transformed into something that doesn't even represent the culture anymore. Harlem was a safe haven for black people going back to the early 1900s, where people were escaping slavery. They would come to Harlem. Harlem, you know, we undermined the renaissance that happened there when it came to creativity and the arts, like the freedom of self-expression that Harlem represented. It no longer exists. You know, a few years back, they tried to rename Harlem Soha. Like, how dare you? Where do you get the audacity to sit here and show up to our home and like, how dare you? Like, man, if you colonizers don't get out of here and stop, this jacket I have on right now, Harlem, King, all black everything. And on the back of it, I have the Black Panther on there. Shout out to King T'Challa, Chadwick Boseman. But this is Harlem, you know, like, yeah, it's heartbreaking. You know, my brother Cordell, he's one of the him and his family. They're probably the only people I know that still own property in Harlem. You know, they own a brownstone, and like us owning property. Like, man, imagine if someone taught us better. Imagine if we had more wisdom of financial literacy and didn't sell the homes that our grandparents left us. Didn't sell the stores that our grandparents. Imagine if we never sold it. What Harlem would be right now. It's crazy.
Absolutely. And to add on to that, when I think of Harlem, because I have family in New York as well too, and Brooklyn and in Brownsville, uh, I think of Langston Hughes. I think of Zora Neale Hurston. I think of the Harlem Renaissance era. That's Black culture. I
Yeah,
think of the Apollo. I think of the things that have molded the Black entertainment industry
yeah,
to where it's at right now. That's what I think of when I think of
yeah,
Harlem. And for them to try to take it away and put something there that wasn't even there, it's
yeah.
upsetting. It's upsetting. And it's just like, we built this culture. Black content creators, Black creators, the Black collective. We have invented the culture.
That's the thing. They love our culture. They just don't love us.
Right. They want our jazz, but they don't want our
Yep.
blues.
I was looking at something yesterday, and it was like one of the most underrated rock and roll groups who definitely had a long stint performing in Harlem, the Spinners. Spinners don't get the respect that they
Mm.
deserve. And half the time you watch a commercial, half the time you turn on a movie, half the time you hear a song, and you're like, oh, I remember hearing this as a kid. Who made this? It's the Spinners.
Absolutely. Mom wants to know, what is your greatest strength you feel God gave you? Is that for me, Mom? And Angel says, bruh, the Apollo, black and gold. Mama, Ron, the biggest strength that I feel from God is that God loves me unconditionally and nothing can separate you from God's love. Support Black businesses, absolutely.
Um, the biggest strength I feel that God gave me I don't necessarily have an answer for it. I feel like if I chose one, I would just be coming up with one for the sake of the question, but complete transparency. And, my mother and I have had conversations about this. There have been so many times over the past 5 years where I didn't necessarily see strength in myself. I'm just now rediscovering the strength in myself. I'm just now, like my name is Ronald. A lot of times people look at the name, it's just a plain name. It's common as I don't know what. But the spiritual definition of the name Ronald is ruler, warrior, wisdom.
Mm.
This is what I was named coming out of the womb. And at some point, I allowed this world to get me to forget that. So I don't know. Ask me a year from now, Mom. I may have an answer for it.
Mine's, I would have to say, would be bravery. Bravery. And I say that because I've crossed so many obstacles. They have been risk taking, you know, but each and every day for me is a challenge. And ever since I was younger, I was always the type of person not to take no for an answer. I would just keep being persistent about it. It's just like you say, your mom told you the same for me. My mom would be like, sometimes take a break. But me and we both have that same personality. We are our mother's children. We are our father's children. And the same traits that my mom has is the same traits that I have. And that is that resilience to keep going. Even when somebody tells you, no, you can't do this because you're a woman, you're black.
Yeah.
I keep going. And I try to separate it to a point where I'm like, okay, this is me. This is who I truly am. I'm human. And no one can take that away from me. So I would have to say bravery. That's something that God has put into me.
Amen.
It's risk taking. There are days when I do get scared, but I would have to say bravery.
Amen. Amen.
Any more questions? Again, this is such a powerful interview, and I hope a lot of you are taking something from this. We talked about mental health. We talked about supporting Black-owned businesses. You know that this platform, Style by Stevie, we support anything Black-owned here. So, yeah, absolutely. We also talked about your past, moving on from your past and embracing the present, as Ronald mentioned in the beginning of the interview, which will always stick with a lot of us because we go back to that place where it's just like, okay, but it's called insanity. We can't keep doing that same wash, rinse, and repeat and expecting different results. It doesn't work like that. You have to change a few things up. Even for me, when it came to getting this platform, I've had to change my delivery with certain things. I would go back and look at some of my stuff in the past before I've gotten to where I'm at now, and I would just be like, your delivery could have been a little bit better because I started off very young. And believe us, when you're young and when you're in your teen years, it's a big difference to where you're to being where you're at now in your adulthood years. It's completely different. So the same things that I was doing when I was 19 or 18 or 17, I can't keep making the same mistakes that I was making at that age. I have to be an adult now. When you hit 30, and I'm about to be 30 soon, not now, but I'm 28. And once you hit close to your 30s, it's like a light bulb goes off, like, ding, this is real. You can't do the same thing that you were doing when you were in your teen
Yep.
years. You can't keep doing
Yep.
it and expecting different results. It just doesn't work that way. You have to change a few things about yourself. And there's nothing wrong with self-reflection and self-preservation, sitting and looking in the mirror and being in the moment in that place where it's just like, okay, I need to evaluate this about myself.
Yeah.
I need to change this about myself so that I can get better and people can receive me better.
Yeah.
And my delivery won't come off as, oh, well, she's cocky, she's arrogant. Because when I first started out, it was very much that. It was very much cocky and arrogant. And I'm just like, girl, your delivery could have been a little bit better. And you got to change this about yourself if you want to be able to work with people. You have to, in other words, I'm saying elevate yourself.
Yeah.
And not to a point where you get such a big head, but elevate yourself to change these few things about yourself so that people will receive you better. And the reason why I have a support system and loyal viewers that come through and support 100% consistently is because they see the change, they see the growth, and they're just like, wow, you're different.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the same. I've changed a lot. And people see that growth. They see, the battle of trying to be perfect. And the thing is, We got to stop beating ourselves up for wanting to be perfect.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen. There's only one person that is perfect, and that is
Yeah.
God. That's God. And he created us perfectly in his image. Someone sent me a Bible verse on that, and I can't remember which one it was. I think it was Psalm 179. And she said we were made almost in God's likeness in a way. So, we can't be perfect. But we can get close to it, but it's not gonna happen,
Yeah.
Just keep doing what you need to do and focus on where you need to go and focus on your passions and your dreams, and he will continue to bless you with more and more and more. And I call it abundance. It's abundance. It's about
Yeah.
abundance. When you put that good love out there in the universe, when you put that good energy out there in the universe, when you change those things that God says, okay, I need you to change this about yourself, because friends will tell you something, and that's what I love about them. They will call you out and they will hold you accountable, like what you did was wrong. And we all have a
Yeah.
conscience. That's the thing we also
They
have to
definitely do
realize
that.
as well too. You got a good conscience and you have a bad conscience. That conscience that you, when you know you did something wrong, is going to come back and it's going to haunt you and say, oh well, what you did was wrong. It'll give you a little nudge on the shoulder and be like, what you did is wrong.
Yeah.
You need to correct that.
Yeah.
And I've had that wake up call plenty of times where I've said things on this platform and I'm just like, oh man, it's just like, wow, I can't believe I said that. I can't believe I did that. And they'll just be like, be different in your approach. Be different with how you communicate or your delivery.
Yeah.
And trust me, my friends have messaged me, texted me, called me, and let me know like that could have been a little bit different, but you think it was harsh? Change that about yourself. And I love it to have a support system that is willing to hold me accountable. A little long-winded, but I'm hoping I didn't miss any comments, but this is healthy conversation.
But
I have loved this chat.
if I can offer anything before you hit your 30s, when it comes to, you touched on humility and how you could have approached things differently earlier on. Don't get to the point where anybody can convince you to humble yourself too much. Understand that you are greatness, the embodiment of it. Understand that you are destined for greatness. Understand that everything that you envision, everything that you daydream about, it because you know it's tangible, you know it's possible. Don't let this world convince you that you need to be too humble because you need to make them feel comfortable. I've made that mistake, and like I said, I'm just coming back into it, recognizing exactly who I am, who I was, even by my name, who I was meant to be from birth, before I even, before the womb. You know, don't let this world do that to you. Make sure that you remember who you are. Be humble, but be great at the same time. You are legendary.
Absolutely. And I'm just a little girl from South Carolina. I'm not trying to be famous or make it big or anything. For me, even though I sit with a lot of big names on this platform, uh, I tell myself this all the time. I'm never going to get so big or get such a big head that I forget where I came from. I still want to be relatable, that down to earth girl next door, that people can relate to, that people can come to and ask for advice and feel comfortable with talking to. What an incredible message, Ronald, and such an encouraging interview overall. Thank you, Bittersweet Series. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. And this is what powerful conversation is all about. This is what we need during these times that are very polarizing for all of us right now. It's healthy conversation, opening up for us as Black people as a collective during everything that's going on, all of this stuff that's going on in this world, from the war to what's going on with Will Smith, Chris, whatever it is. Not even going to get too deep into that, but it's caused a divide. But we're listening to respond and not listening to hear each other out. We have to be willing to listen to each other and have healthy
Absolutely.
conversation. And that's what mental health is all about. Being able to sit and listen. That's mental health right there. Is being able to sit and listen. Because these sometimes therapists will be like, okay, well, and what's wrong with you today? Don't you think you need to reevaluate this about yourself? They will literally give you that wake up call and that nudge and that tap on the shoulder and say, I think this, and you could work on this, and this could have been a little bit better. And it's gonna, it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're gonna close out on this note. Any projects you want to plug or anything?
If you want, you can follow me on Instagram. You can look me up on Facebook. There's a lot in the works, and people don't. We live in the microwave generation. They expect immediate results, but understand the work that's being done now. Oh, trust and believe. My 2023 is about to be crazy.
All right, fashion dolls. And I'm gonna close it out with the thought and the word of the day is never be afraid to speak your truth and tell your testimony. Never. Your testimony can empower the next person and the next person that is watching, that is viewing, that is seeing firsthand. And whatever it is that they're battling with, then they'll open up and they'll want to tell. We must break that cycle and that stigma of what goes on in this house stays in this house. When we talk about mental health as Black people, normalize it, talk about it. And Ronald opened up and was so transparent in this interview about getting therapy. Get help. There's people out here that can help you. Don't hesitate to reach out to me or Ronald or anybody. Please talk to someone. Talk to someone before it's too late. And then you're sitting around, you're regretting it like you should have done something. Talk to someone. Please talk to
Absolutely.
somebody. It's people in this world that care.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And don't be selfish with your gifts. Shout outs to my girl, Miss TJ Sauce. She's going to be coming on the show in May or June. Well, she's coming on in May. And we're going to be having an
My
in-depth
dad just
conversation. She's
joined.
going to be
What's up, Pop?
Oh, welcome. Welcome. Welcome, Dad. We were just about to conclude.
Yeah. Don't worry, Pop. Just FaceTime me. I'll give you the Spark Notes version.
Yes, and this interview will be up. It was a powerful interview, and I hope some of you go back and rewatch this because it's a lot that you guys can take away from this interview. We talked about mental health and being transparent, and I would love to see more people open up and be transparent about whatever it is that they're going through. Remember, there's people out here love and caring for you, and that's what I'm going to end with. I love you all, fashion dolls. Thank you all so much. Don't hesitate to follow. Don't hesitate to reach out, and we will see you guys next week, ladies and gentlemen. We're now in a new month, April. We love you all, and Ronald, I would love to have you back to the dollhouse again.
Anytime. Just let me know. Stevie, I love you. Much love to you. Much love to this platform, and thank you.
You are so welcome. And Mom says great content. Thank you so much, Mom. And Dad, I love you too, Miss TJ Sauce. I love you all. You guys, please be safe. And this interview will be up. Watch it from beginning to end. Take something from it.
Absolutely.
I love you all.